On May 4th, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump announced his plans to reopen Alcatraz by directing the Bureau of Prisons to work with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security to open Alcatraz Prison. The notorious prison is located on an island in the Bay Area that used to house some of the most dangerous prisoners. However, there are several logistical issues with reopening. First, we should explore why Alcatraz was closed in the first place. Alcatraz was closed because of the high cost of maintaining the prison, with an inadequate waste system and also a lack of ability to provide clean water to the inmates and those who worked in the prison. Additionally, the repairs for the prison are very costly, and right before closing, they did a renovation that cost nearly $5 million. Today, this would amount to $52 million, and if you want to find out more about how much the US is currently spending on corrections, explore this timeline. Since the prison hasn't been used for several decades, it would have to be completely redone, and Trump plans to expand the prison. However, this isn't a very popular idea. It isn't supported by politicians, the public, or even members of the departments who will be incorporated into its reopening. Even amongst Trump's supporters and former prisoner known as Charlie Hopkins, he doesn't believe it would be a good idea either. Charlie Hopkins was incarcerated and transferred into Alcatraz. During his time in Alcatraz, Hopkins reports feeling like he was very isolated, very apart from society, and he reports having more mental and behavioral issues than he had had in other facilities, which he felt caused him to act out more. But one important thing to note is that Donald Trump is not the only president who has tossed around the idea of reopening Alcatraz. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan debated over whether or not the Alcatraz prison should be reopened. Following the Mariel boat lift, when thousands of Cuban citizens left Fidel Castro's communist Cuba and flooded to South Florida to escape the regime, Reagan debated whether or not he should use Alcatraz as a location for the refugees. In the end, they decided that this was not a proper facility because of the restrictions that had been previously identified of not being able to get the proper resources and clean water to the island. We have also seen that Alcatraz has been used as a refugee safe haven and prison system in the Olin tribes nearly 8,000 years ago. During this time, the Olin tribes would sentence members of the tribe who violated tribal law or taboo to Alcatraz Island in the Bay Area where they were settled. They would also use it as a refugee center after colonizers from Spain and Europe began to arrive in what we now know as the California region. There's a lengthy history behind Alcatraz Island and many factors that restrict its reopening, and even the expansion. Explore this timeline to learn more about Alcatraz and cultivate your own opinion over whether or not it should be reopened. Thank you!